Now McKee stepped into him, and it's rolled around on the boards. Tipped free and picked up by Brown. Curtis Brown to the Dallas line and over. Jammed it in wide of the net. Sanderson was slowed down. Brown keeping it in. Got it in front. They score! Jason Woolley! Jason Woolley! The shot heard round the world! The shot heard round the hockey world! And Jason Woolley has won the game in overtime here at the Reunion Arena. The Buffalo Sabres' first victory in Stanley Cup final action in 24 years.
What's more impressive, that he scored the overtime goal or that we get him on the morning that he scores the overtime goal? Jason Woolley joins us here on the Instigators, predicting the future. Wolves, we do it all around here, my man. Always enjoy chatting with you and seeing you. What's going on?
Never gets old, brother. Never gets old. How you guys doing? I'm doing good.
We're doing great.
How many interviews are you doing right now? Third, what was it? Second, 2 overtimes? Do you know how many minutes you played that game?
I would guess 25, maybe.
Was that double overtime, Wolves?
Yes. No, single overtime. Single overtime. So that's probably 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. Do you guys know, or are we just guessing?
I'm working.
I don't know. Riv asked the question, Wolves. I don't know. You'd think that when a guy asks a question like, have any idea how much ice time you played that night? The answer to me would be no, but I can tell you who scored the winner.
You played 17-34 that game.
I have no idea.
17-34.
Was it really 17-34? Yeah. Little light.
Yeah, what were they saving you for?
Yeah, no kidding. Overtime, apparently, yeah. Yeah, no.
You having fun with this? You having fun? We know you're following, right? And I also know Razor. You know Razor. He might be popping on the line here, but you know how Razor is. He's not afraid to throw a guy under the bus. He said you were getting emotional talking about it when you were chatting with him.
A little bit, not too much. Listen, that's a big time in our lives, man. Like, that was a freaking really tight team, and we were laughing. I enjoyed the interview with Razor. He's always a piece of work to talk to. And,
who are the guys on that team? So you mentioned, like, when you look at the team and you go down the whole entire lineup, you start scratching your head a little bit, to be honest with you, that this team went to the Stanley Cup Finals, okay? Because there's a lot of very, very good players, but there's not, like, besides Dominik Hasek, he's a superstar. But, I mean, this is a really, really put-together team. It's almost like a bunch of junkyard dogs. And when you're saying that the team was really tight, who are the guys that kept this team together? Like, who are the glue guys?
Razor was definitely one of them. Pax. Dom was kind of on an island doing his own thing, but he was still a great teammate and someone we obviously loved to play in front of. Keys and Z. God, well, that's the tough question because, frick, they all were, man. We were all just so tight. But I got to go with our leaders. I got to go with Razor, Pax, Z. And Jeep. Those are my guys.
It's amazing watching Jeep play. Razor just joined, by the way. Go ahead and say hello, Razor. Wolves is on the line.
Whoa.
I won't get emotional, Razor, I promise.
Don't, man. Seriously. I didn't know how to handle that.
You never did.
No.
Yeah, he's not one for showing the softness, eh, Wolves?
Yeah, you got to get a few in him first.
Yeah.
It's in there. Deep down inside, it's in there. There's a soft, cuddly bear.
It's there. Don't you worry. He's a teddy bear.
My dad always told me never, ever let people really know what you're all about. Always keep them guessing.
Well, you've done a good job of that, Razor.
Yeah, yeah.
So Wolves was just reminiscing about the team, Razor, just talking about, like, you know, well, first of all, let me ask you this. You said something, Wolves, that, like, it's interesting. Jason Woolley joining us here on the Instigators, if you're just tuning in. And, you know, Stanley Cup Finals against Dallas 99 will start airing tonight. And a game that's obviously very big to everybody, all Sabre fans and everyone in Buffalo, but Jason Woolley in particular scored the overtime winner. But you mentioned Dom was on an island on his own, but he was a great teammate. I mean, was it interesting for, you know, like to sit back and kind of watch a mega superstar kind of, I guess, just like take I don't want to say goalie, take away all the glory, but just kind of take the main title, like the main guy?
Well, he's just a weird duck, right? Dom's Dom. But we loved everything about him. Like, he competed like nobody else. He came to play every night. He was our rock on the back end. But, you know, you heard Pex talk about it. I'm sure Razor and I can, you know, touch on a little bit. The one thing that I've noticed, and I didn't really notice as much when I was in it, was the speed that we had collectively as a team. You got from Sandy and Zinger, Brownie, Rass, Razor slowly, you know, just coming right behind those guys.
I had to think about what I was going to do when I got there, so I had to go out there a little slower.
No, I mean, we had a lot of team speed, and we had, you know, guys that could, you know, Z and I could get up there from the back end, and we just had, that's the one thing that is really stuck out to me. And Joey could fly. Miro wasn't slow. Like, we had a lot of nice components. You see, you know, when guys maybe weren't on their game, or I didn't see many passengers, trust me, especially in that run. But when they weren't going, and we all had off nights, other guys stepped up in their place. That we ham and egged it the best.
You know what, Wolves, was really, really noticeable a lot, too, is there was no East-West game. There was no – guys got the puck, man. They were heading up the ice. Their first intention was to get the puck up the ice. There wasn't looking side to side, wasting a lot of time and energy that way. Immediately, the counter got back up the ice and attacked quick, whether it was on the forecheck or, you know, when you've got possession of the puck.
I would agree 100%. We went north all the time. I don't know if that was by design, but it looked like we did it a lot. It's kind of the new game. It's interesting. It's the way the new NHL plays. They don't want to go east-west. They go north. And, of course, our special teams were on fire, man.
Yeah, they were.
You know what's amazing? You know what's amazing when I look at this series? Okay, so you're talking about the Buffalo Sabres of '99 and how you guys had team speed, but you had guys that were junkyard dogs. You know, you had guys that did things right, that worked for one another. No one was bigger than the team. Basically, as the forwards and the defense. It's just amazing when you kind of go through your entire lineup. But when you scroll down to Dallas, they were the same makeup. Guy Carbonneau, Mike Keane, Jamie Langenberner, Jari Lehtinen, Joe Nieuwendyk, Dave Reed, Brian Skrudland, Pat Verbeek. I mean, that entire team was very similar to a Buffalo Sabres team. Do you not agree?
Well, the only difference, I think, Rivs, is they had a lot more experience at it. And we were a bunch of young guys that were going and facing everything for the first time and you know, kind of young and dumb maybe. Those guys knew what to expect and maybe how to handle things a little differently too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. We were very similar teams. You also got to give them a little edge on the you know, the scoring punch up front on that number one line was really dangerous.
Yeah, Brett Hull, Mike Modano, you know, pretty lethal.
They were deadly, and you know, Pex line did a great job against those guys. If he didn't, we had no chance. So, we matched up very similar teams. We matched up very equally. I'd give our edge in the nets. Our both D were very, very solid. But I think what you see, Rivs, is you see a whole cast of characters that just did a really good job at their role. We knew our role. We had clarity. Razor and I talked about this.
Yeah.
In our discussion. There was never a moment where I showed up in the rink and I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to play tonight. Like, everybody knew. So you got to give the credit to the coaching staff for letting them, I think what Lindy and Rammer leaves, what they did is they allowed us to play, be the best Rob Ray, the best Jason Woolley, the best all the way down the line at what they do. They didn't try to take somebody and carve them into something that they're not, and shape them into a different player. And what we did is we played for them. Most importantly, we played for each other. Razor made a good point the other day when we were chatting. It's like, we never felt like our coaching staff was like over here and the players were over there. We were all on the same bus, which, leaving Toronto we were, and that's what catapulted us into Dallas. Beating Toronto the way that we did, handily, and then having that celebration back on the bus, we felt like we'd got over the hump as a team too. So there was just a lot that came out of that ride.
Do you think that Lindy, being so new, was able to allow himself to be that way with the players?
I think Lindy
being so new as a head coach, because it was only his second year. First year he went to the conference finals.
Yeah, I think being a former player, he knows what we're going through. So I think you could relate, and I'd say yes to that. And I think later on, as you go and you become more of a coach, I don't feel like Lindy felt. I felt like he was at his best when he didn't feel the pressure, which is normal. I don't think he felt the pressure. I just felt like, hey, we weren't expected to get that far.
Yeah.
So, we were all in this having a blast, and it was just all kind of coming together and working out. I think later on, as we went down the line, I think there was more pressures from Lindy, and I think he started to separate himself from the actual players.
Let me ask you something from a personal standpoint. You're from Toronto, so in that series against Toronto, what was your focus like? Were you getting tickets for a bunch of friends and family, or were you just kind of like zoning that out and just playing hockey?
Well, it's funny. I made a comment on after, can't remember. I think it was Boston when we knocked Boston out, and Tickets was interviewing me on the ice there, and I said it's going to cost me. I'm looking forward to it, but it's going to cost me a lot of money. I don't remember buying a lot of tickets for anybody, maybe just immediate family. Excuse me, but to go in and play Toronto, I wasn't a Leaf fan growing up. I've never been a Leaf fan. The last thing I wanted to do, that series meant so much. Listen, not only was it was an amazing platform for us Ontario kids. Everybody's going to be watching, all our friends and family, and there's huge bragging rights. And that was amazing to, come out on top on that one for sure.
Instigators joining us right now, Jason Woolley. A few more minutes with you. Let's talk some current hockey with you. I don't know how much. I assume you're following very closely what's going on. You think we're going to see hockey back, or what are your overall thoughts, and do you know anything?
No, I don't know anything. This is really, really tough to get any information out of anyone. It's really been tight-lipped. I think we let them stay with their families and kind of treat this as their summer, and then I think we ramp up and start the season later in the year. I don't see it being a very good product if we get going sooner than later. That's just my opinion.
What's later? What do you mean? Like, when you say start the season later, are you talking like August?
Yeah, September. Somewhere in there, September, October, finish it up. And I guess from what I'm hearing, we got to start the next season by December. So, yeah, it's got to be somewhere in there. I don't see it starting in July. I just don't.
Where are you right now?
Where am I right now? Like, where am I talking from? No, I'm in Detroit.
Quarantining?
Yeah, I'm in Detroit area. Yeah, you'll hear me yelling.
You know the part that would
Buffalo
really suck?
tonight.
You're going through all this, having a little tournament or whatever it may be, win the Stanley Cup, and it's like a week later you're on another team and you're starting up again. You don't even have the opportunity to spend your day with the cup. You don't have an opportunity to enjoy it. Bang, you're right back at it again. So why even win it if you're not going to have that experience?
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, well, we never obviously we never won it. I can't imagine winning it and having to. But there's a lot of not only the Stanley Cup. It's just there's so many dynamics going on right now. From kids coming out of their senior year and kids that maybe needed that last playoff run to get an NHL deal. There's just so much that this has affected. It's crazy to think about winning the cup and then not even getting to celebrate. We might have to wait a year.
Would you even consider? I can't believe I'm even asking this question. Shame on me, but I'm going to ask it.
Yeah.
Would the three of you feel like it would still be like winning a cup?
Cup's a cup. You may listen to it right now that, it was a shortened, tournament or whatever it may be. But you know what? Years down the road, when your name's on that cup, Buffalo Sabres and whoever team may win, it's like, there it is, baby. I did it.
You've played 85% of the season already.
Yep.
If these guys win the Stanley Cup, I think this should have an asterisk beside it saying the hardest cup ever to win. Ever. Yep. Like, there's so many dynamics that go into winning this cup. You have players that had surgeries in like December, and now they're ready to go for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, I'm talking star players. This dynamic is like no other in the history of the game, and it's going to be very difficult to win.
Yeah, I mean, Jake, like Pittsburgh gets Jake Getzel back. I mean, that's a huge piece, right? Like, it's incredible. It's really bizarre. We've never seen anything like it. But I'm with Razor. Cup's a cup, and yeah, man, you can. That winning that cup goes a long way. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does. Ask Brad May.
Yeah, there you go.
Scoring one goal went a long ways for that guy.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's true. I'm only using him as an example, but it is true. Every year there's guys.
See what I mean about throwing guys under the bus, Wolf?
I'll do it. As long as he's not in front of me, I'll do it.
As long as he's not in front of me.
Freaking classic.
I texted him the other day. I haven't heard back in about 4 days, so you know what? He deserves it anyways.
Wolves, well, take care, man, and keep the players that you got going healthy, and hopefully we can see hockey back. Appreciate your time, and good luck with the game tonight. I got good vibes for you.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about tonight, but we just finished morning skate. We're going to go to lunch, and then we're going to nap from 2 to 4 and head over to the rink. How's that?
What are you having for pregame meal?
Oh, we always do pasta marinara. You know, we always ended with
wasn't that the year the guys were bringing chef sauce on the road and Pedialites were starting to pop around?
Yeah, we were in Dallas, so we couldn't we weren't bringing chefs on the road. We're always having chefs at home, though.
You were? I thought guys were bringing the sauce on the road.
Maybe I wasn't that crazy, but
I don't think it was.
Always finish with it. Head up to the room, Brownie and I are rooming together, and have a big thing of vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce. Always. That's the magic. That's the magic.
How many times did you take the butter and mix it in there with the ice cream with the chocolate sauce?
Butter?
Yeah. So like in Montreal, we had they were basically already made in little cups, ice cream with chocolate sauce, but they were put on ice so they wouldn't melt, right? Well, we would always go and get those little cups, fill it with butter, okay, and then put chocolate sauce all over it. So the guy goes and takes it, walking up to his room. He's having a little taste of ice cream in the elevator and realizes about 4 scoops in that it's not ice cream, it's butter.
Yeah, I'd freaking kill somebody if they did that.
That is
Razor?
absolutely
Gross.
disgusting.
And that's why we did it, baby.
Guys,
Sorry. That's why those guys on the team did it.
That's why those guys did that. That's right, Petey. Well, listen, guys.
That was Riv that said that. that was Riv.
Riv.
I would never do anything like that.
Guys, I'm really enjoying this, and thanks for having me on it. And I look forward to following tonight.
If you could hear that blowing there toward the last 5 seconds, that was Razor trying to clear his nostril into his microphone.
No,
and then onto my underwear.
That's his way of getting it.
Which I'm sitting in.
That's his way of being emotional, Petey.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
Tears are running right out my nose.
All right, I did it. I didn't cry, boys. I didn't get.
No,
I didn't
you
get
did
emotional.
good, Wills.
I did it.
That medication's working.
It really is. It really is.
It's okay to get emotional, Wolves. You know what? These are important. Those are important times. Not the '99 wasn't mine, but hockey and the hanging out with the guys. There are times that are very emotional. Good for you.
Yeah, man.
Good
Love
for you.
those guys.
And you know,
love those guys.
I got to tell you, I'll say it again before you go. And I know I've said this to your face, but when I was a young kid, and I will say it, Razor was a total Richard, and you were one of the best guys. So I have always appreciated that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Will's always
Razor,
had to recruit guys just to help him out for protection. So
No, he didn't. He didn't.
So
You know what?
Doing it.
I got a couple great Jason
felt
Woolley
sorry
stories
for
that
you.
maybe he did, but you know what? At least he didn't try to beat me down, Razor. Boom. Oh, that's right.
Oh, that was
Gordo. You said I was trying to take your job. Razor said he was afraid I was taking his
job.
job.
You're trying to take over the room as a young kid. You're going to get knocked down a little bit, okay?
Yeah,
Hey, Petey, Riv.
Earn your spot, son.
Hey, quick Razor.
What's that, Wolves?
When I first got to Buffalo, quick Razor story.
Go
when
ahead.
I first got to Buffalo, we got to practice. First drill, I went D to D. I missed my D partner. I think it was Boogie. I think I missed him by about 8 feet. And Razor yells out, "What do we give up to get this guy?" I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I love this place. You know what, though? I love about Razor is he always wore it on his sleeve. I always know where I stood. I always knew where I stood.
Well, I learned later on that if you just give it back to him a little harder, he'll be like, "Wait, what are you saying that for? What do you? Hey, why are you going there? Why are you going there? Why you got to go there?" Yeah, because so it doesn't go any further.
Hey, Petey, I always took in ribs. I always took. I always wanted to be treated as a young guy. I want to treat the young guys the way I wanted to be treated. So thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. Razor, I love you, brother. And River, Petey, I'm going to sign out and get ready for my pregame meal.
No, listen, we're going to let you go. So we got to go. You're not letting us go. You're not letting us go. We're letting you go. Let's get that clear.
I won't argue with either one. All three of you guys.
Good luck tonight, Jason
See you,
Woolley.
Wolves.